Hey everybody, it's me, Stephen Schnee, and welcome to Comically Speaking. This is just going to be a video that showcases some of the stuff that I recently added to my collection. There won't be too many of these videos, so don't fret, but I have fun with them, so I will make more. And you're going to notice here that my tastes in comics are not always going to be in sync with everybody else's. I don't go out and buy every issue of Spider-Man and Iron Man and all this kind of stuff. I mean, there's reasons why I buy stuff, either for the art or for the subject matter. But you're going to see, some few things that maybe you aren't familiar with, or that you could give a toss about. But I'm going to talk about them here. So let's just dive into this and have a little bit of fun. Okay, the first one I'm going to show is since the new Superman movie is coming out, DC released a new Superman series called Superman Unlimited. And I'm just showing you this because this is what modern comic book art looks like if you haven't seen it. Now, I love and prefer the classic old comic book art. But, I can dig this, very creative, and I'm looking forward to reading this part of this, the first part of the story. Now, I think everybody remembers EC Comics, all these classic, Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt, etc. Well, EC hasn't put out comics in decades. I think that there's a new series here well, be prepared for some pretty horrifying art. These are all horror or terror comic books. This is Epitaphs from the Abyss, which is this is issue number 1. I picked up a few issues. I think they're up to maybe 8 or so. This combined it's essentially just a bunch of different short stories. And if you saw just a few moments ago, they had a classic reprint from an old issue of an EC comic. So they mix old and new together, and I bought a few of these epitaphs from the Abyss. Shocking covers, of course. This one's going to be really shocking, so avert your eyes. But I mean, they're not bloody, but they're definitely frightening. And it goes with the horror comic aesthetic. This is modern horror comics, of course. So I got a few of those to read, and like I said, those are a collection of stories. This is also from EC, and I got suckered in by the foil covers. They always tend to do that. They sucker you in. Again, a collection of short stories, and you'll see here there is an old, I think, Vault of Horror might be in this. No, that's in a different one that I'll show you in a second. But that's, again, a collection of stories, and I love the cover. Now, here is one that people might be surprised by. This is another horror one from EC. And what this is, it's a collection of horror Christmas stories. And why do I, want to read Christmas horror stories? Well, I love horror comics and Christmas. And this is the one here that has, see, that's an old issue, I think, from Vault of Horror or something. But fascinating. Now, I prefer my art to be unrealistic. So when, again, suckered in by this facsimile of an old comic book, and these facsimiles, they have the original ads too. So these are basically this issue just repressed, and with the original ads. I love the colors. And I think Dr. Fate is in something recent. Maybe he might be in the new Superman. I'm not sure, and that's why they're repressing this. But this has a few different stories in there. More fun comics. Again, love that foil cover. I mean, that's just a sucker thing. See, here's a Fantastic Four with a foil cover. I got suckered into it. That right there that I just showed you is another facsimile. And I'm going to open this just to show you the facsimile. This one was repressed because Galacticus is the next main villain in the Fantastic Four movie coming. But look at these original ads. Everybody remembers the X-ray visions and all this kind of stuff. I hope that one of the facsimiles along the way features the Sea Monkeys ad. I would love that. Everybody remembers Sergeant Rock, if not from the comics, from the XTC song. And here's another facsimile. Metamorpho. I know that he's in the new Superman movie, so they brought that out. Now, here's interesting. This was a free comic day comic book that I saw on the table, and it was perfect because I flipped through it, and of course, it looks, kind of like Pennywise from It. I don't think it's supposed to be Pennywise, but I'm going to read this. I haven't read it, but it intrigued me enough to buy issue 1 of the actual series. This was, a teaser the getting into the series, and it worked because I did buy this, and this goes from color to black and white. And now, when it comes to like horror and monsters, I don't mind if they're sort of realistic looking. But, superheroes have to be sort of fantasy looking to me. Here is another comic book. I'm not going to open this, but it's one with a bunch of short stories or short horror stories about Christmas. Now, I love these. There's this company called Yo Books. And what he does is he puts together these, or what they do is he puts together these collection of old comics. Now, they're reprints of the comics. They're not fine tuned and cleaned up and stuff. They're basically the way that a comic book would look if you picked it up now, but it's still great, and I love to watch that kind of stuff. Now, I have read about this Geiger series. It's like one of the most critically acclaimed new comic series out there. Now, this is a book that combines, I think, like the first 5 or 6 issues. And same with this Department of Truth. I have read a lot about this, and the subject matter of this issue is really, really interesting to me. But I'm not really that into the art, but I like the story, so I'm really gonna, want to check that out. And anyway, that's the stuff that I recently picked up. I'll be picking up more and showing you shorter videos with some fun titles as well. But thank you for watching.